Well, hello everybody and welcome back. This is Ghost Stories Told from the South. I'm your creepy host, Stephen LeBooth. Here for the YouTube version of the podcast. I just want to say thanks again to everybody. This is episode 94. 6 away from doing 100, guys. And when I hit 100, then it'll be right around the corner, our 2-year anniversary. Can't believe it. I can't wait. But enough with this. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys, right now for me, please. And that way we get it anytime I load something up or something comes up new, you will get it. So do that for me. I'm going to switch it over, get the audio part ready. So let's stick it and click it. Well, hello and welcome back to another creepy episode of Ghost Stories Told from the South. I am your host, Stephen Leb. God damn it. Sorry, I didn't have my mic turned on. See, dumbass. I was wondering why my sound didn't hear. My sound wasn't very loud, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Because I did a sound check and all that. And I went outside real quick and got loosened up and ready and came back in and didn't turn my mic back on. So let's try this again. All right, y'all get that subscribe button hit? I hope you did. Okay, let's do it. Well, hello, and welcome back once again to another creepy, scary edition of Ghost Stories Told from the South. I am your host, Stephen LeBooth. And boy, do we got some scary stuff for you today. Oh, Stephen's got some, or I've got some scary haunted waters to talk about today. And I want everyone to know this is episode 94. Man, just want to say thanks, everybody, for that. This is the 94th episode. Just want to say thanks to everybody for listening and subscribing. Like right now, if you're listening to this, whether you're listening to the video version or you're doing the audio part, hit follow, subscribe, whatever you got to do. That way, whenever I put something up new, I can. So, all right. Well, I hope everybody's having a great, spooky, scary week. I hope it's going great for you wherever you're at. And I don't ever get politics on here because it's not my thing on this podcast. This podcast is my ghost story stuff. So, but I just want to send a shout out to Ukraine. And if everybody would allow me to, let's take a 10-minute pause real quick before I start and give a quick shout out to Ukraine or whatever. But we'll take a 10-minute break real quick. Okay. I didn't mean a 10-minute break. I mean a 10-minute pause. Excuse me on the audio version. I've got the camera on today. So remember, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Stitcher or whatever, or Pandora, go to YouTube. I got a video going. So, and I want to try maybe to do some of these videos, tell you when I'm going to do them. Y'all can comment and whatever through the stories and tell me what you think or whatever. So I'd like to do that. So, and you guys send me some emails. Talk to me on the old Facebook. Sorry if I forget about it. I'm trying to get better at that so I can promote my show better. Yeah, I'm not that good at it. Sorry. I'm not a media guy, but I'm trying to be. Listen, man, I'm 45. I'm not used to all this technology, but it's awesome. But anyways, I hope you guys have been having a great week. Once again, thanks to everybody who listens. My numbers keep growing, so I'm getting over 200 downloads a month. So it's good. I mean, I consider that's good to me because I'm not spending any money. I mean, I'm spending my money. I'm not making any money on this. I don't have any advertising I do besides just what y'all hear. So for growing like it is, and me being a little old country boy from Texas doing this, I makes me feel pretty good. So maybe in 5 years, I'll be doing it full time. That's my goal. Oh, if it comes sooner, hey. But that's my goal, 5 years. But anyways, enough about me. Let's get down to some skitty stories, boys and girls. I got some good stuff today. Like I said, I'm going to go over some haunted waters, lakes, and rivers, stuff like that. Because I've never really went over. I was got to thinking I was going to go back, and I was like, I've never really done like water and rivers and lakes and stuff. So let me wet my whistle here, and we'll get this sucker going. Ah, man. Ah. All right. Okay. Our first story is since I gotta. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting that y'all don't know what I'm doing when I pause like this. I'm cutting in a music for the intro to the deal. I do all my editing while I go while I'm doing this on the audio part. And if you see that behind me, that thing right there, that's my son. That's just my blanket I use for my podcasting. And he's back there playing games, got his headphones on. He's a good kid. All right. Like I said, let's get on back to the other part. Our first story is the lower Yellowstone Falls. Say that 3 times fast. All right. And of course, this is in Yellowstone. Okay. Waterfalls can both be beautiful and terrifying at the same time. They offer a sense of serenity, but going over the edge is the stuff of nightmares. Yeah, I would say. See, I'm afraid of heights. Cliffs will scare the shit out of me. Okay, well, in 1870, a group of five American Malenta men and their Crow guide went exploring deep in the canyons of Yellowstone. Native American tribesmen in the area stole all the horses overnight. It's a militiaman. Oh, militia. I'm sorry. The militiaman began pursuit and soon caught up while the tribe was, excuse me, the tribe was crossing the river near the lower falls. The raft the tribe had constructed was not strong enough to go over these strong current to it wasn't strong enough to keep up with the currents, and basically the water beat it to death. Where was I at? To strong currents. Okay. Most of the horses, however, had already been able to swim their way across. The men and the women furiously paddled while the raft began slowly sinking below the water as it headed towards the falls. They began to chant a death song as they got closer to the edge. Allegedly, the explorers raised their hands in salute as their raft went over the edge. Oh my God! Could you imagine watching these people just going off? Yeah, that'd be pretty creepy to watch. Where was it at? Okay. Legend has it two screaming eagles flew by at the same time. Today, people say that while standing near the falls, they can hear the tribe chanting their death song. That would be kind of creepy. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just one of the stories. Oh, I think I grabbed the wrong thing again. Oh, okay. Well, that's about the waterfalls. Yeah. Yep. I was done with it. I thought I had more, but I don't. My bad. Okay, well, let me get my papers going over here. And I did not bring, oh, there's my pen, baby. I just put a check mark there. The hyacinth. Okay, here we go. I do have some more stuff. See, I knew I did. I just had to find all my notes over here. I'm very unorganized. If I ever make it big at this, I'm very indefinitely going to need a secretary. Okay. Here's another little tidbit I found. A ghost story was born in the lower falls of the Yellowstone in 1870 when, okay, the militia of men, okay, I've already said all that. Never mind. Well, sorry, this story we've already talked about. Well, okay. Well, that's pretty much it for the falls. I'm sorry, I should have read over my notes better before I started this. But anyways, the basic of the story is some Indians were out one night around Niagara Falls, Yellowstone, and around the lower Yellowstone Falls. And the militia, they took their horses and stuff, and I guess the militia guys were chasing them, and they went across the river close to the waterfall. And the waterfall, it's weird. You'd think it'd be pushing you, but I think when you get closer to the waterfall, it starts pulling you in. Well, their boat started sinking. Like I said, it wasn't made good enough. And people say they can hear them. And sometimes they say, if the evening's right or a good morning's right, you can catch the Indians in the morning on their boat. They say you can see their ghosts. So that one's pretty creepy. Pretty creepy. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I don't know why I got a glitch. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if y'all hear that or if it's just me. Every now and then I hear it. Okay. Let's go to our next story, ladies and gents. This is the Saco River. Have you heard about the curse of Saco River? Before I ventured into it with my husband and our friends, I doubted the story, and I would have gone I would have gone anyway. According to the legend, the wife and an infant son of Squadu, chief of the Saco tribe, were traveling by canoe near the mouth of the river when they encountered three rowdy, drunk English sailors. These sailors allegedly made a few bets, then snatched the baby from the mother and threw him into the river. What the fuck? I see. I don't read that stuff before I do it. Just for that simple reason, I want the shock factor. I don't really want to know what happens. So basically, they run into these drunk fucking sailors, and they take the baby out of her arms and throw it in the river. What the hell? Dang! They throw it in the river to see if American Indian habbies were natural born. He basically threw it in the water because he wanted to see if it was a natural born swimmer, as they claimed. And of course, the baby died. Oh well. Now let me keep reading. The mother rescued her baby, but he died a few days later. The grieving Squadu, who was said to have great spiritual powers, put a curse on the Saco River, saying that every that every year after 3 white people would drown in the river. Some historical accounts state that the death of Squall's son, which is said to have occurred in 1675, marked the end of the peaceful relations between these settlers and the American Indians living in the region. Like many stories that have been passed down, the legend of the Saco River has multiple versions. One version holds that the event took place near Leamington, Maine, and the victim was a chief's daughter. The maiden was supposedly kidnapped by 3 white settlers and carried off in a canoe. The girl fell out in the infamous Leamington rips, and her father placed a curse on the river ever since. That's one story. And here's number 2. Todd Baker, historian and archaeologist at the New York Institute Museum in Saco, offers a different perspective on the legend. Early historians' accounts describe an incident of the Saco that led to an American Indians baby's death. But there's no mention of the curse until about 1880, said Baker. I think the legend of the curse might have sprung up as some other legends did during what we call the colonial revival era, when it was popular in the romantic events that took place in the colonial period. Sorry, I'm not trying to block the camera here. Maybe maybe so, but modern inhabitants of the regions avow that on average 3 lives are lost in the Saco River per year. Whoa, that's a pretty weird fact. They maintain healthy respect for the curse. Old timers recall hearing the legend told by their parents and grandparents, says Charles Brown, 85, of Leamington. It was something we all knew about. So you grew up in this area hearing about it, and you probably still do. I'm sorry if y'all are hearing that little glitch too. Of course, I'm real picky when it comes to my sound. I gotta be sounding good. Okay. And it's also called the River of Death. Let's see what else we got here. One of the best local authorities on this subject may be I can't even fucking talk. May be Ruth Chaplin, a lifelong resident of Step Falls, Maine town librarian for 45 years, and a reporter for the Portland Press Herald for 20 years. Chaplin recalls writing plenty of stories about drownings in the river. She says the curse has been carried out many, many years in drownings up and down the length of the Saco. I'm not sure why I didn't become let's start this again. I'm not sure why I didn't become a stat, because in April of 1973, when my canoe flipped on the Saco River, trapping me below it. Perhaps the spirits had not yet been awoken for the season, or maybe my accident occurred at the safe distance from the scene of the original tragedy. More than likely, my great 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 grandfather, Clive Hudgendon, deserves the credit. He married an Albankia woman, thereby ending his disconnections with the American Indian blood. Just a trace by now, but perhaps enough to save me from the Saco curse. See, because she's a white chick, and she said the curse is three white people. So I'm sorry if that's irritating y'all back there, but I'll fix that next time. It is kind of weird because the focus is supposed to be on me. It's all about me. Okay, we got another story about some haunted waters. I hope you guys aren't too scared. Hopefully, I'm telling these stories good for you, even though I'm a dyslexic guy and I'm all boo. I'm glad you're listening. All right, we got our next story. Our next story is in Australia, and it's called The Devil's Pool. God damn it. Ah! Oh, God. Okay. Our next story is in Australia, and it's called The Devil's Pool. Out along the Bruce Highway, 6 kilometers south of Cairns in northern Queens Island, Australia, three streams rush down from atop Mount Barte Fure, Mon- mentor through untouched rainforest and wilderness. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna have to fucking stop and fucking fix that. That's fucking bullshit. You're being so goddamn touchy. Yeah, just fucking stop. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Sorry, guys. I'm having a little technical difficulties right now. Okay, let's try this and hopefully. In the back of my box over here, sometimes it gets a little touchy, and I went to move my feet and BAM! Kick something. All right, we're going to do this again. Our next story comes to us from, like I said, Australia, called the Devil's Pool. Along the Bruce Highway, 60 kilometers of Cairns in northern Queensland, Australia, three streams rush down from atop Mount Parte Fury, and they go through untouched rainforest, wilderness, and a lot of coverage among some large boulders near a non-respect town called Bandia. What has come to be known as the Bandia boulders are well known for the inviting, crystal clear waters of these streams and the picture perfect natural beauty of the whole place. And it has served to attract droves of tourists to the spot every year because of its beauty. Beauty! However, what many of the photographs and campers and hikers at this peaceful spot, as well as the swimmers, wading through the calm, precious little pools of water. They're not aware of it. It's that the site goes by another name too. For more for some of the people, it goes by the Devil's Pool, and it has been feared by the Aborigines of the area for centuries, perhaps with good reason, as this is a place long steeped with death, forbidding in a dark dark reputation. The native people of the area have long shunned the Devil's Pool a lot. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just kind of nervous. I don't know why. I'm looking at the camera and I can't speak. The native people of the area have shunned the area uh, called the Devil's Pool, and one Aborigines legend is particularly tragic. According to the dark tale, there was once a young, beautiful woman from the Duncha tribe named Ablania. That was weird. And it's once a young, beautiful woman. Okay, from da, da, da. And this maiden married a respected tribal elder man, War Warano, when she met a handsome young man from another tribe. She sent forth into a forbidden affair. See, that's what always happens, guys. Keep your willy in your britches. Running off away into the wilderness with her newfound lover. Unfortunately for her, Olana's husband was a powerful man within her tribe, and he sent out search parties to hunt the pair down to put an end to their adulterous affair. When they were finally surrounded and separated at the Bahamas borders, Alona is then said to have thrown herself into the water and drowned rather than face a bleak life without her true love. According to the Aborigines' tales, she has never really left and still prowls these waters, looking to lure young men to their watery grave. The legend has become notable in light of the fact over the years a large number of young men have mysteriously met their deaths here. Great, I'm an old man. I can go there and swim and she won't lure me in, but I won't take my son. And since 1959, at least 17 people or more still in old. Oh, okay, wait. Okay, since 1950, at least 17 people have drowned here under strange circumstances, which means is a lot of the bodies don't get found. So, in many cases, the victims are said to be forcibly pulled and held under as if unseen hands were pulling them down. This side is said to be particularly aggressive towards men, those that disrespect the pool in any way. In one story of a young man visiting the area took a kick on a oh visiting the area took a kick at one of the signs there, after which he slapped. Then he fell into the deep pool and he drowned. Oh my God. Guy was being cool, kicking shit, and she's like, fine, psst, you can go drown. Other mysterious deaths are not as clear, such as the 24-year-old Peter McCann, who in 1979 was climbing up a boulder. Yeah, climbing up a boulder, jumped a small gap and slipped to go tumbling into the water below. After which he after that he simply vanished without a trace. See, that's some weird shit. Well, too, you don't know what kind of forces that has to pull you down there, because It's weird. You got to look this place up. Looks like it's got a real good, uh, you know, current in there to suck you down. Uh, it would take teams of divers over 6 weeks to finally find his body logged down in the murk of the bottom of the pool. One rescuer who helped in the search police dive, Peter Tibbs, explained the scene, and this is his words. I have been called for. I have been called on 4 times to try and find bodies down there, but one of the most interesting case was a young fella named Patrick Can. He thought he knew his. He thought he knew he was in there, but he could not get the body because the water is so cold. It is so deep and it flows so fast. And so 8 or 10 times we went down, and we were eventually cut the logs out of the place underwater on the last day after we almost given up. We cut the last log. We cut the last log that was in the chute, and the body floated freely. And that was 5 weeks and 5 days from the time he'd gone missing. So it was pretty. It was a pretty gross sight. But it was. Hey, quit, Max. But it was a pretty gross sight. But it was a great relief to get the body so the family could get some closure. Okay, here's some more. There was also a case of a young couple that was swept away by a freak flash flood at the site where they were taking in the view. That's weird. Okay. With the woman surviving, but the man never heard from again. Perhaps the most recent and dramatic account of a mystery death at the Devil's Pool is that of a 23-year-old Tasmanian naval seaman. He's a seaman, but he's not only just a seaman, he's a Tasmanian naval seaman. His name was James Bennett, who had been out for a day exploring the area with some friends in 2010. The group had jumped over a satisfying railing to set on a natural tub of churning water known locally as the washing machine. According to one of James's friends, he had been swimming in a calm area nearby when he suddenly and frequently yanked backwards as if by an invisible hand, which seemed to drag him back towards the section of churning water, of white water at the back of the pool. James then alleged reached up to grab some branches, which snapped, after which his head went under and he just struggled there, sus- suspended helplessly in the water for no apparent reason, with just the tips of his fingers protruding from the surface as he struggled to come up for air. See, that would suck dying that way, man. I would hate that drowning. No. He would remain like this while his father tried to reach out to him and offer his extended leg to grab on. Before sinking down into the depths to his fate, he would not. It would not be until 3 days later that the body would be found floating up, about in a calmer section of the stream, and a plaque would be erected in the aftermath while reading, "He came for a visit and stayed forever." Most of the area now is closed off. Well, people keep dying there. Although inviting local people uh, and visitors still in. Well, it's a beautiful place. Such tragic incidents are so beautiful that the area has been numerously railings and warning signs set up over all over the place, donated to the place by volunteers, and that way people could still swim and they could still be safe. You better not be messing up that sheet. Where was I at? Okay. While so many have suddenly drowned in the most calm pools here, depends largely on who you ask. Officials would tell you that it's all due to the fast running water and freak flash floods, or untamed currents stripped up by the natural lay of these streams and boulders dotting it. This could this could in turn pull people under and pin them against the rocks or wedge them under sunken logs, drowning them for a bit. Then it could possibly be witnessed as some sort of mystery or unseen force. The high oxygenation of the water here also does swimmers no favors at all. This is said to make the conditions in the off limits areas difficult for even the most experienced swimmers to navigate. Indeed, even the divers that have entered the pool to look for bodies have been met with hor- hor- with bad water conditions at times. Despite typically being suddenly tethered to the land by rope, one local official said the dangers of the pool, thus, there are still dangers of the pools, he says. And I think that's about it. Well, here's another legend. This is said to be the telling evidence of, of that perhaps of the Aborigine legends about the pole are perhaps true. That's what they're saying. That maybe with the evidence of what they've found and how people died, maybe it's true. At least to some degree, you can think it's true. I mean, you never know, man. See, that's what happens when you're a fucking dickhead and you do shit like that. Who would be, who would just grab a baby and throw it in the fucking water? But that ain't the story. That's the other one. I got mixed up. Sorry. But yeah, that one was crazy too because the pools and stuff. Yeah. See, that goes again. I hope y'all see that. Sometimes there's a little flutter that goes over here. And it looks like a feather or something, but there's no dust up there. I keep it decent. Decent. I mean, I don't do it once a day. I do it once a month. But anyways, time for our next story. Hmm. Our next story is the Higbee Beach. Legend has it that a spooky being haunts Higbee Beach in a 1.5 mile stretch at the tip of Cape Island along the Delaware Bay. The beach is concealed from view by swampy woods that separate it from the dead and new road. I'm sorry, something is bugging me. I keep hearing a click or something. Where was I? The okay. Historians say the area of Huckabee Beach once was farmland in the 19th century. A tavern that stood on the farm was purchased by Joseph Smith Higbee in 1823, and subsequently he turned it into a hotel called the Hermitage, or the Heritage. I'm sorry, the Heritage. Higbee and his young brother Thomas Harris Higbee operated the hotel for the Delaware Bay pilots for many years and lived in separate houses on Bayshore Road nearby the beach. Here's where the haunted part comes in. Joseph died in 1872 and Thomas died in 1879. Thomas Higbee stated in his will that he wanted to be buried near the hotel in a grave lined with brick and flagstone. He remained there for decades until the death of his niece, Etta Gregory, who had inherited the entire Higbee estate. Etta thought it would be a good idea to design her Uncle Tom against his to go against her Uncle Tom's wishes and bury him next to her at the Goldsmith Cemetery, where their plots both remain today. The hotel was demolished in 1940, 3 years after Etta's death. Ever since, Higbee Beach visitors have reported spiritual or yeah, spectral sightings of a man in a long coat, sometimes accompanied by a black dog. According to the phenomenal and paranormal investigator Greg Muniz, who shared his footage in the Cape Biolog, this ghostly man also seems to disappear in his position is when his apparition is approached. One particular creepy sighting from the area was recounted in the book Cape My Ghost Stories. A woman who claimed to have any paranormal leaning, learning, or leanings explained what she saw when she visited the dunes of Huckabee Beach and observed the ghost of Thomas Higbee from the carrier post. So she's seen him while she was up there at the beach that day on one of the dunes. She said that he looked right at her, but more so through her, as if unaware of her presence. As the sun rose, she could see that his color was odd, a pale gray, almost almost glowing. She moved closer and noticed details of his dress pants that were too short, almost tethered at the cuffs, and a sash instead of a belt, and a very dirty tattered t-shirt. The woman heard a whispering and giggling sound come from the same area in which the man was standing, which she thought the man heard too, because he turned and started to, as she put it, in. Anyways, they both looked at what they heard. They both turned around and was looking for the baby's voice. Or, not the baby's voice, but the giggling and stuff. So that's kind of weird when a ghost acknowledges a ghost. That's crazy. When the woman purchased the ghost over the hill, she saw no footprints. When the woman pursued the ghost over the hill, she saw no footprints, Looking down at the beach, the ghost disappeared or climbed into the ocean, or glided into the ocean and disappeared underwater. The area of the legend is now owned by the state of New Jersey and is known as the Huckabee Beach Wildlife Management Area. It became a hotspot for breeders enjoying the birds who who sing outside its remote habitat. So go check out Huckabee Beach and New Jersey. See what you find. You might find something you like. Man, this one's going to be pretty long too, so I'll wet my whistle. See, y'all hear that too? All right. Okay. Our next and last story is Lake Ronkonkoma. It's Long Island's largest and deepest lake, a majestic expanse surrounded by scenery woods and lined with white sand. Thousands have flocked to its shores each summer to enjoy the water and bask in these unspoiled natural surroundings. Excuse me. There are scores of local residents who won't even dip their toes in the Lake Ronkonkoma, and it's not because of its recent bout with the algae bloom. Buried in the lake's water are untold lost bodies, they say, the victims of centuries-old ghosts who regularly drag young men to their graves. I would not swim there, said local Danny Gudo, 44. Too big of a risk. Legend is that in the 1600s, a young sex Sethican Sethican Indian prince named Tuskawuta fell madly in love with a blonde beard woodcutter she spotted one day across the water. In one version of the spooky Suffolk County saga, that don't make any sense. Oh, saga. I'm sorry. The Suffolk County saga. The Native American Juliet catches the eye of a Romeo woodsman, huge bird saw, and he becomes equally enriched with her, but her father forbids her from seeing the white English settler. The distraught princess then spends every day for the next 7 years writing birdsall love letters on pieces of bark, trying to send them to him by floating them across the water. She never gets a response and in despair finally rolls into the middle of the lake, stabs herself in the heart. Ah, according to locals who love to retell the tragic tale in one version or another, every year since, the Lady of the Lake has made it her mission to grab a young man from her watery grave to replace her lost lover. Oh. It, if you're a true Ronkonkoma native, these things are in your blood. Local historian Elian Ogfist told the Post, drowning, st- drowning stats back up the legend, some residents say. There were at least 160 drownings at that lake between mid to late 1800s to the 1970s, averaging well over one a year. And only 3 victims were women, said former longtime Lake Rockomian lifeguard David Ignera, 74, or citing his own research. Ignoro, who was a decorated in colonial American history, said that for 34 years he helped guard the lake's beaches starting in the 1960s. There were 30 drownings alone, all male victims. He I heard it for years. All the legends, the princess's curse. I thought it was all make believe, just a myth as a young man. But as I got older, I kind of believed it. Well, I mean, how can you? I mean, people are dying once or twice a year. I mean, what a coincidence. Okay. As the deepest lake on Long Island, Roanoke has been called the bottomless, although even the most strenuous believers believe the lady in the lake allegedly that is true. It's really the it's literally the lake is 90 feet at its deepest. Crap, that's deep for a lake. Yeah, 90 feet deep and 10 feet along the edges. At some point, features a dangerous sudden 45-foot drop. Oh my God. So it just sits there and then drops. Crazy. Uh, but it's deep enough to keep some secrets as well. Virginia Schultz, she is 72, who lives on the edge of the lake, said her uncle was a lifeguard there briefly when she was little. During the first week on the job, he dove off the diving board and came up with a body on him. He didn't know it. Somebody had drowned in it and was in the water. Schultz told the Post. Wow, that's crazy. Mm. He quit right after that, she said. Schultz said she does not consider the princess as evil. I view her as a person whose heart was broken. Still, she admitted that she never takes any chances, so she don't go swimming there either. When her son was in high school and planning to take a raft out into the lake with some buddies, she did the she did she hid the small boat so the boys could not go out. Uh, Schultz said there have been so many drownings over the years that she cannot hear the whirl of the helicopters anymore without tensing up. It means the search is on for another body. It's a horrible sound, she said. When they start their circles, you know somebody's in trouble. And the longer you hear it going, you're like, oh my God, are they going to find them? Ignores, oh, Igneri's recollection about the lake are just as troubling. He said in the months leading up to the 4th of July, 1965, when he was a lifeguard, he had the same dream every night for a week. He was diving very, very deep for someone and could not find them. Each time he reached the water surface in his dream, he saw fireworks. Their dream was unsettling that he told his fellow guards in just a precaution, the town allowed me to bring more guards to the lake for the 4th of July. We had a few minor incidents that day, but nothing big. We we had a few minor incidents that day, he said, And then epically, a boy went down. Oh, we all cried. The police grappled the body of a 6 foot 15-year-old boy. When he saw him taken away, he said to my guards, we're closing the beach today. Call the town and tell them." As the days went by, I said, "You know something? Maybe there is a princess. Maybe there is a princess there." Oh, and that same guy has said he has his own possible brushes with the lake. About 4 or 5 years ago, he said he was swimming towards a local bar and grill on the edge of the lake known as the lighthouse. And when he got close, he found himself swimming in place. And then he got picked up and got thrown back. He said, "The legend does say that the princess lives in a deep hole near the lighthouse." And there I was. As dramatic as locals' tales are, there are many residents who dismiss the princess story and just say it's a color folklore. So yeah, that lake's pretty creepy and deep, man. Man, you don't ever hear of lakes being that deep. Man, I mean the Great Lakes, but I mean just normal lakes. You don't ever hear them being that deep. Jeez. Well, guys, I'm sorry I ran out of stories. Man, this one was pretty long. Sorry sometimes if I get tongue tied and you don't understand what I'm saying. That's why I stop and try to go back and be like, "Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-doo." So, once again, though, I'm glad you guys came. Glad you listened to me. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great week. Hope you're enjoying some of its warmer weather and telling some stories by the old campfire at night. Ooh. But this has been Stephen the Booth, and this is Ghost Stories Told from the South, episode 94. Don't forget, you can listen to us on Spotify, Stitcher, Pandora, iHeart, iTunes, Amazon, all that good shit. And don't forget about a YouTube channel. Okay? And you people on the YouTube channel, don't forget that. Hit that click button. Y'all give me some good reviews. I'm doing my best. Maybe next week, little old Steph will be in here with me and she'll got some stories. So I think it'll be a good time. But thank you guys once again. I love my fans. I'm glad y'all like what I do and like my stories. I don't know what I'm going to cover next week, but I'll have some good old scary stuff for you. So, with that being said, I will see you guys later. Remember, don't get too scared tonight when you go to bed. See you later, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching the show. And thank you guys for listening to my podcast. Thank you guys for listening. And we'll see y'all later, man. Peace. Oh, huh.